Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jai Shri Radha Madhav ki Jai. Shri Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Advaita Acharya Mahotsav ki Jai. Santapati Vaishnava ki Jai. Om Premanande. Hari Hari. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manoਭીષ્ટಂ સ્થાપિતં येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरोर्वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। ओम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्री गुरून् दीनतारिणं श्री परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरं। नमो विष्णुपदाय नमो विष्णुपदाय विष्णुपट्टाभूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी पूर्ववाणी। Hare Krishna, Prabhus. Hare Krishna. See you all, really wonderful, all bright face. You don't really need sun here. Kalachakra Prabhu ki jai. Like, I mean, I think I came about 4.5 years before, I think almost. I think last I came was in 2018, I think. After that I didn't come. That time it was, that time itself was bustling really. And now it is even more. It's so nice to see all the wonderful, I think most of those youths who were that time would have been grastas by now, no? Summer. So another 4 years later I come, then grasta actually it's not, it's in a positive sense because it's plus double the count it is. Count of devotees. So when I asked Prabhu, he said, now we have more than 700-800 devotees around in this Whitefield area only. Whitefield area. 2005 when I came here, there was nothing here actually, no buildings, just full open lands, and I was staying very nearby from here. I was staying for 3 years, so I was looking for anybody devotees around to associate with. There was nobody really, frankly. You had to go all the way to the sessions there to connect with even to see devotees. Now you see it's like everywhere you go, you have dhoti, kurta, tilak. Really wonderful. That because it requires real austerity and penance from somebody, like how Prabhupada created devotees in all over the world from nowhere. Otherwise, it was just focused within India in some places. That too, our Gaudiya thing was mostly either in Vrindavan or in our Navadip and a little bit in Calcutta and areas, right? Before Bhaktisiddhanta spread the wings around. So now you see wherever you go, I go to Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, many other places, everywhere. So everywhere you see, that it's growing. That's a good sign that growth means life. There is two symptoms of life, When there is growth, definitely you can say that there is life is there, isn't it? Dead body cannot grow, isn't it? So that is one symptom of life. You know what is the other symptom of life? Consciousness. Of course, consciousness is one thing. Consciousness is there, that's why the growth is there. There is one more interesting symptom of life. Activity. Activity part of growth. Huh?
Doubles, like it produces.
Produces that again grows. Not only that, multiplies. It all is included in growth. There is one other symptom which you might not have, you might be surprised to hear that. Disease is a symptom of life. Dead body doesn't have any disease. So anybody used to ask Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj used to ask my Guru Maharaj, Maharaj, so many problems in ISKCON, this. Yes, we don't see so many problems in other societies. Yes, they are dead societies, that's why there is no problem there. In ours, that's why Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness movement. There will be something or other will keep coming. But that movement solves the problem. If we are getting stuck, then we become dead, isn't it? We become stagnant. River flows, then its purity is maintained. Somebody might throw some garbage, some gutter, something will come. But because of its flow, those things get purified. So for us also, some temporary, some things will come. Somebody will say, oh, here you are doing like this, you are doing like that. But the most important thing that helps us, purify our this thing is, there are 4 P's you should remember. P, letter P. If these 4 P's are there, then nothing will stop the growth of hormone. Then there is no disease that will linger on. It will come, but it will go. Now, what are the 4 P's? The first P is prayers. Our prayers start from 4:30 in the morning. Mangalarti. Then we have Sringarti. Then we have Gaurarti, Noonarti, Shanarti, so many artis. We do prayers. Right? We do, in Bhagavatam, so many prayers are there. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna's prayers are there. So this prayers is inbuilt in our lifestyle because of Prabhupada's mercy. So that is first P. The second P is preaching. Nobody preaches like us. Nobody has taught us how to preach. Like anybody who reads Prabhupada's book helplessly has to preach. They can't sit idle. If they read Prabhupada's book and if they don't preach, it means something is wrong with them. Have you seen somebody is reading the book and immediately they go out and say, I read something nice, and they start speaking something even with half knowledge or with 5% knowledge also, they just go and preach, isn't it? So that is because of the preaching mood that is there in Prabhupada, is inculcated in yes, imbibe that in the books, and so whoever is touched by Prabhupada's book also will start preaching. So that is second thing, right? Prayers, then preaching. Then the third P is printing. Printing means it includes printing books. Nobody prints books like us. It includes distribution also. Printing means you have to distribute. When you print, you have to distribute. So that is included. So many books. You see, in the table now, there is no space in the table to keep the books. You go to any festival or anything, from that end to that end, the table is there, and still the books are like, we can have a separate book fair of ourselves. Don't need to be part of any other book fair. Because there's so many senior Vaishnavas writing, then there's many other devotees writing books and different titles. It's like so many books gets printed every year, right? So, and Prabhupada's books are always there. They are also, in effect, it's like Prabhupada's books are actually life. As Prabhu said, it produces more. Who was that? It doubles. Who was it? You said, no? So this is a symptom of life in Prabhupada's book, because whatever books are coming now, they are children of the original Prabhupada's books. They are the source. From there, all these, what do you call, the Sampradaya, is all coming. What do you call, descendants. Without Prabhupada's books, how can we write any of our own? All the knowledge that we think we owe to Prabhupada and all our acharyas, right? So It is the third P is printing, but the fourth P is all we like the most. We all know what it is. That P is. Right? So as long as as long as these four P's are there, then our movement nobody can kill, and it will not die also. It will keep going. And where these four P is not there, even if it looks like from outside very nice, it's only Mandanam Lokaranjanam, decoration of the dead body. It's very clear because you see, Prabhupada left how much? 50 years ago? 48, 45 years ago almost, right? 48 years. Now, still it's growing and growing. How it is growing? Because life is there. Without life, nothing will work. So that life is there in this movement, in our path, the bhakti path that Prabhupada has given us. Right from morning 4:30 to night 9 o'clock, we have full engagement. Who can create a program for the whole world to be engaged from 4:30 to 9? 4:30 in the morning to 9 in the night. Right? We have to be really, really thankful to Prabhupada and how smartly he created this International Society for Krishna Consciousness movement. Isn't it? Suppose Prabhupada started, say, okay, he was very compassionate to the rickshawalas in Calcutta, and he has started a movement, International Society for Rickshawala movement. What would have happened? Rickshawalas will be happy, right? It might have spread to some place. Only rickshawalas will be happy. Otherwise, if he had started something for, say, the some prasadam restaurants, something, International Society for Restaurants movement, then they will only be happy, right? But now you see, it's an International Society for Krishna Consciousness movement. It is beneficial to all societies, all groups. Now, wherever you go, devotees are growing more. So devotees means traveling. Devotees doesn't sit in one place, isn't it? Yatra, yatra, yatra. I mean, 52 weeks in a year, not a single week we are free, isn't it? Earlier it used to be like some little period of gap, but wherever there is gap, we have this habit of filling it in, right? Like Matsya Avatar. Right? There is a small gap between, what do you call this? We have Kartik month is finished. Now, earlier December only was Mukbardhan. Now, many temples started doing from November itself. Right? They start from November and then we have, say, every month we have some festival or other coming. Rath Yatras, Narsingra Jayanti, then Ram Navami, then Gaur Purnima. Something or other, Nityananda Tridashi is coming this coming week. Today is Advaita Dashara Parents Day. So, we always, it is festival only. So, everywhere we are moving, we go, we have our own this thing, prasadam, the thing, so Govinda Sasran, whatever we have, then their business is going on. Then, if you see in Vrindavan and Mayapur, rickshawalas are getting benefited by our devotees going there. And actually speaking, Prabhupada did a better service to them than the normal people, no, even the politicians or government people. You know why? Because when we go, we means earlier when devotees used to go, if he is asking 1 rupee charge those days, they will say we will give you only 50 paisa for going from say here to Marthavli. 50 paisa only will say they will bargain that much. But when Prabhupada spread this movement around everywhere, then Western devotees, all the foreign devotees, they started coming to India. So when they came in Vrindavan, they used to take the rickshaw, and when they had to go by rickshaw, these people will say 2 rupees, 1 rupee. If it is 1 rupee, they will say 2 rupees. Already they will give higher price. They will be worried if they will say no. Then those devotees will say, some devotees will say, damn cheap, let's take it, I will give you 10 rupees. They will say convert from dollar to rupees. So many days, I don't know how many of you know, but many days they used to see when foreigners come, the local rickshawalas in Vrindavan, they call them damn cheap babus. Oh, damn cheap babu aa gaya. Because of that, even when we go, they charge that much only. So normally they would have charged very less. So Prabhupada increased their lifestyle or standard of life. It's not only in Vrindavan, in Mayapur or in Calcutta or Bombay, Delhi, anywhere you go, it's like that, because foreign influence started not in terms of currency. I'm talking about in terms of the people coming in. So how much Prabhupada has benefited that by intercultural exchange, things started growing more, but with Krishna in the center. Simply you just do some society, cultural exchange, this, that, without Krishna in the center, without Bhakti in the center, that's why it's called Bhakti Center. without Bhakti as the center of our existence, then it becomes Mandanam Lokaranjanam. So this is how Prabhupada created a movement where everybody will get benefited. Yasmin tushte, jagat tushtam. If you're only focused on one people, then all other people will be envious. Suppose you are benefiting only auto rickshaw walas, then the taxi walas will get envious. They will say, how come you are not benefiting us? Then there will be unnecessary some skirmish, some problem will come. But Prabhupada benefited both. You also get benefited, you also get benefited. That is the thing. When we simply satisfy Krishna, our aim is only to satisfy Krishna, then everybody will be benefited. So today being Advaita Acharya's appearance day also, how amazingly he brought the most munificent and merciful lords, Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to us. That's why you see in a sequence it is coming, Advaita Acharya appearance day, then Nityananda Prabhu appearance day, then you have Gaur Purnima, like one by one it's all coming. So it is such a glorious thing, because how much they would have been anxious to bring Krishna and Bhakti into this world, isn't it? When Krishna comes, only Bhakti can come. So to bring Krishna, a devotee is required. And Krishna himself has to come as the devotee. That is what Advaita Acharya is. Right? So when someone has to pray, how much intense that prayer must be to bring Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into this world. And alone, like offering tulsi to the Lord and praying, please come, without you nothing will work. Same way, all the acharyas were praying for a Senapati Bhakta, like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, all of them, Gaur Krishna Das Babaji, all those acharyas, they were praying for the Senapati Bhakta, and Krishna sent Srila Prabhupada. If not for him, we are not here, right? And if not for Prabhupada, we would not even known about Advaita Acharya, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, or Nityananda Prabhu, or anyone for that matter. It's he who throw open the what do you call the treasure box for us to know. You can go how much ever you want. Golokera Premadhana, Harinama Sanchitana. Premadhan, he has brought him. So we have to be very, very grateful to great acharyas like Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, Gadadhar Pandit. They were all unsung heroes in one sense, if you see. Right? When you see them, there's not much we discuss about them throughout the year, but then without them, this cannot sustain. That's why even when Prabhupada had to go to the West, he went and intensely prayed to Advaita Acharya and Advaita Acharya Bhavan. If only you give us your mercy, I can do something for your pleasure, for the Lord's pleasure. Same way, even if whatever we are discussing today cannot work without Advaita Acharya's mercy or Panchatattva's mercy or all the Acharyas, without them, neither can I have the capacity to speak, nor can we have the capacity to discuss. We should be really, really grateful to them and pray to them, offer our sincere prayers to them before we commence. And one other thing is also that yes, the appearance days, disappearance days, we have to remember them, but they will be even more pleased when we do what they desire us to do. That is, relish Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and chanting. If we simply sit and relish, you have such a big group here. It's like what you call, it's directly Krishna's liquid mercy on all of you. Because in this, where we have this constant movement is going on, Drishtya Sansara Chakresmin, Vartamana Punarbhava, for each other to meet, it is like a Punarbhava, it's like a new birth. We think that, Prabhu, let's see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we come, something else, they may be sick or we may travel somewhere suddenly. We don't know where Krishna is throwing us apart. You see, we think that, I was thinking that from Chennai to Bangalore is nothing, I can come twice a year easily. But last I came was 4-5 years ago. Right? So it is not that easy to meet each other. We think that way. I came all the way from there, so many things could have happened. The train could have broken down, or I could have had some problem, or something else happened. Suddenly I should have to go back. Whatever thing could have happened. How come Krishna is bringing us all together? He has a plan. We just abide by that plan, and that's why we have to pray sincerely for their blessings and mercy. So this Mangalacharan itself is actually a prayer of seeking the blessings of all the acharyas and seeking their blessings for oneself and for the audience, the hearers, to know, for us to appreciate and relish the subject which we are discussing. So considering this the topic that is being given today, I feel that with the devotees group here, I think it will be better placed when we have an interactive thing. I don't want it like one flow and then questions in the end. Is it okay, Prabhu? Yes. We'll make it interactive so that you all have been studying, and I can learn more from you if it's more interactive. So let's give a little introduction of this thing, 5 minutes of this thing, and then you can start we can have a discussion. When I say interactive, if somebody has a nicer point, please feel free to raise your hand and just say. It need not be only questions. It's not like you are asking question and I am answering. Suppose somebody is asking a question and somebody has a nice answer, please share it. That way all of us will get benefited. No formalities. Right? Let me try to get up here. Just come. Charge is working. Now what should I do, Prabhu, here? That's not come. You have to do that. Extend, no? I think it's already in extend mode only. I should do it in slideshow, I think. Right?
Slideshow is not happening. Remove it.
This one? Duplicate the remove. It's better to do duplicate, I think.
No, it's come.
It is come? What happened? It was coming or not?
Now we can
Function?
I think connection is no code for once.
Now it is going up. And I'm removing it straight there. See if it is coming. So in that it shows the thing, here it will not show. No, here also it comes, yeah. I will say duplicate, no? If we do duplicate, then it will be better. Can you change it to duplicate? This function something.
You can close this slide.
Why don't you do duplicate instead of extend? Just make it as duplicate. working. It's coming here.
Windows P.
Windows P. Extend Adobe. Now the mouse is also working. Okay, now you have the full screen, no? Okay. Go on slideshow. See, these are some of the points which I have collected from my interactions with my spiritual master, as well as Mahavishnu Maharaj. He used to teach us Bhagavatam by really through austerity. As when we start Bhagavatam, when we used to sit with him and start Bhagavatam, after Darshanarti, our morning Bhagavatam start around 7:30, 7:45 like that. But we never used to have this concept called breakfast. We never knew that a breakfast we can have. So our discussion will go on till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And finally, after 1 o'clock, one day our first prasadam was released. So easily 5-6 hours goes non-stop like that. So, and then in that process, he used to give us many different, what you call, this tips and tricks to how to study Bhagavatam and all that. So he consolidated all those points, and that is what I created earlier one slide deck for this thing. It's called Adhyatma Deepam. So it's a seminar which I did for studying Srimad Bhagavatam, how to study, what are the important points to take care, and different types of study methods, how to recite, what are the various meters to recite, how that meters are formed. So it's a detailed thing for 6 to 8 sessions we used to do. I've done it for quite a few temple centers and groups. I was telling Harishatra Prabhu also that this is what we are doing now. It's a very short this thing. Only we will probably discuss for a little while because this 1 hour, 1.5 hours we'll do a little bit whatever we can cover. But if you all are interested, or if more devotees are interested, then we can do more sessions. Now that the corona thing is, the restrictions are lifted, we can do in person also. It will be a good thing to do, or we can do it online, whichever way is convenient as per your thing. So one thing that when we asked about how to study Bhagavatam, the first thing that Maharaj used to tell us is that the first and foremost thing you should understand is that Bhagavatam is not a book, it is Krishna. So when we are approaching Bhagavatam, we should approach Bhagavatam as if we are approaching Krishna. If we go with the idea of, okay, it's a book, okay, let me get a knowledge from there. Knowledge is there in it, but apart from knowledge, there is even more in it. There's a beautiful sloka which we might be knowing, but it's nice to sing it. It will tell you what all things you can get from Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. Please repeat. Srimad Bhagavatam. Puranam Amalam. Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam. Jnanam Param Giyate. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam. Naishkarmyamavishkritam. Tachrunvan supatan vicharanaparo. If you close your eyes, You close your eyes, you will see that you will be able to hear more thing. Then it will go inside easily. Now 3 words only. Tat Shrunvan Supatan Vicharana Paro. Supatan. No, not simply Patan. Supatan. These 3 steps we have. This is a clue to how to study Bhagavatam. Tat Shrunvan Supatan Vicharana Paro. Bhaktya Vimuche Naraha. See, this sloka is very beautiful. It comes towards the end of Bhagavatam, 12, 13, 18, I think. So the sloka is this sloka is very powerful. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Malam. It is a spotless Purana. So, Naishkarmyam Avishkritam. Sorry, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Malam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. So it's all Vaishnavas. It is dearmost scripture to all the Vaishnavas. That is why you see Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Shivas Thakur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everybody took Bhagavatam as their life and soul. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Puri, he would go to Gadadhar Pandit. You all know that story, right? Where is Gadadhar Pandit used to stay? Tota Gopinath. Tota Gopinath, why he was staying there? He was taken Sheta Sannyas. He will not leave Puri till the end of his life. That was his thing. Wow. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go to the beach, the Sagar, to take bath, take snan. And from there, Tota Gopinath is very nearby. So, he will go there. He will meet Haridas Thakur and he will go to Tota Gopinath and he will sit there and hear Prahlad Maharaj story, Dhruva Maharaj story. Prahlad Maharaj story, Dhruva Maharaj story. He will not go anywhere else. Come on, let's read this place, that place. No. He will only read this same thing he will hear from Gadadhar Pandit. These 2 topics only he will keep hearing. So Chaitanya Prabhu relished. So this that's why Vaishnavanam Priyam. The moment somebody says I am a Vaishnava, whichever Vaishnava, not only Gaudi Vaishnavas, any Vaishnava you take, any Vaishnava should be loving Bhagavatam. It should be the dearmost scripture for all Vaishnavas. Not only that, next line, Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekamamanam. Okay, some are Paramahamsas. They don't care. They are like, they are everybody. They encompass everything, whatever. The impersonal people also, whatever you want to call. Paramahamsyam Ekamamanam Jnanam Param Giyate. Jnanam, because they are after Jnana. They are Jnanis basic. They want to go after Jnana. So for them also, because Bhagavatam is giving Jnana for them, they are also loving it very dearly. Beyond Jnana, what all things that it is giving, that is the third line. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam. Along with Jnana, Vairagya and Bhakti also it gives. And not only that, it doesn't stop there. It gives Naishkarmi also, Nishkama Karma also, which is preached in and out in Bhagavad Gita. Everybody who doesn't want to take Bhakti from Bhagavad Gita, they will always quote this one thing, no? Nishkamya Karma, Nishkamya Karma. Right? That is also there in Bhagavatam. Don't think that it is some only for some sectarian kind of people. No, not at all. It is for everybody. It is for everybody. This Bhagavatam is for everybody. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmam Avishkritam. All these things Bhagavatam will give. But 3 conditions. Well, if you do these 3 conditions, then all these things will come. Jnana, Vairagya, Bhakti, Naishkarmya, everything it will give. First thing is Shrunvan. You hear attentively. That is the first thing. Second step is Supatan. It's not enough to just hear and go. Most of the time we are not able to consistently study Bhagavatam because we only hear and go. How many of you study Bhagavatam in your leisure time? Prabhu, you don't. I know you will. How many of you study Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita in your leisure time? Bhagavad Gita, some people will raise, but Bhagavatam. So that is Supatan. Supatan means you go deeper and deeper study, not just surfacial study. Like say for example, we are discussing about one shloka today. One of the devotees asked my Guru Maharaj, we are all struggling in devotional service, but Prabhupada always says advanced devotees, we want to become advanced devotees. That's why we are sitting here. Otherwise, we won't be sitting here. But I can understand that I'm only struggling. How can I one day? How can I become advanced devotee or advancing devotee? Not advanced devotee, advancing devotee only. So Maharaj said only it's a matter of 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes I can struggling devotee to advanced devotee. Oh my! Where is that? Where is that medicine? Where is that? What do you call that? Bottle of that magic potion. So Maharaj said, it's a matter of just 5 minutes. How 5 minutes? Suppose we are discussing something Bhagavatam. If once the class is over, you close the book and then you say Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmani Vaishnave, Sarira Vidyaja, then we are struggling devotees. Right? But you just take 5 minutes extra after the class, just on your own you want to go through that shloka to understand or digest the points which were discussed during that shloka, during that class. Or you go and ask the speaker, no, was there something more? I have this doubt, can you help me understand? Then he is advancing devotee. Means he is showing his commitment. Right? At the end of the day, Krishna wants to see our commitment. How much ever I do, am I committed to it? When we say commit, means no matter what, even the hell breaks loose, I will not leave this. That is the commitment, isn't it? You are all sitting here because you are committed. You are committed to Krishna. We are all committed to our Guru Maharaj. You are committed to Prabhupada. You are committed to Krishna. So that commitment has to be there. When I say, Prabhu, I am coming, I am giving you your Lakshmi by say so and so date, I should match up, I should fulfill that promise, isn't it? Otherwise, trust deficit, breaking our relationships, right? Same way, when we are committed, then the relationship with Krishna continues. When the commitment breaks, when we break our promise, then Krishna will not reciprocate, right? So that is where this advancing thing comes. When we are having these questions, we should immediately ask. Nobody is going to hold you over that question. Even if you have some doubts, something how this is, I am not able to catch up between this and this. Actually, it is a Siddhanta Baliye. What is that shloka? Sorry? Chittanakara alasa. It's actually Drida Manasa. It says we should not hesitate from asking questions about any contradicting things in the Shastras. By discussing those things even more courageously, our conviction builds up. Right? So it is very important to have this conversation. So this is the Supatan thing that happens here. Supatan means you discuss more. Like I went to Pune and there the devotees are very dangerous. You give class and then the next day they come and ask you, or after 2-3 days they come and ask you, Prabhu, in that for a few days before you gave the class, no, you made a point, I have a question on that. Then Prabhu, I forgot what it is. My job is to give class so that you people remember, not that I remember. See my mockery, what we speak, you have to remember, but unfortunately, we think that the knowledge is for to give to others, not for ourselves. So what happens? I think I am all right. I gave class today. Now I have become a great devotee. Everybody will think. The problem is that we don't want to be devotees, but we want to be recognized as devotees, isn't it? I don't want to be a devotee. If I have to be a devotee, I have to do Mangalarti, I have to do chanting, I have to do Bhagavatam, I have to do Bhagavad Gita. Who will do all these things just to for me to become a devotee, man? It is easier to endeavor to be recognized as a devotee. That's easy. I put Tilak, Dhoti, Kurta, then I can recognize as a devotee, isn't it? Recognition gives us ego satisfaction, isn't it? It is not Atma Tripta. Syad Atma Triptascha Manava. Isn't it? Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita, Atma Triptascha Manava. Atma Tripti, it doesn't come simply by externals. Simply, Mana Tripti or Sharir Tripti only happens. So, our endeavor should not be to be recognized as devotees. Our endeavor should be to become devotees. Because Krishna recognizes, then others will recognize. automatically it will be recognized. Even if others don't recognize, if Krishna is recognized, that's enough for us. You know, at the end of the day, our thing is to satisfy Krishna. Then everybody else automatically satisfies. So the soup button is very important, because in a corner in the room, you sit and study on sloka, nobody will know what you are doing. So nobody will glorify you. There is no glamour there. Non-glamorous services is chanting, Mangalarti, doing Mangalarti alone. If crowd is there, then that's good. But if nobody is there, it's very difficult to do Mangalarti. Krishna is standing there, but who knows whether he sees you or not. That's where my mind is thinking that. He's not even reciprocating. What is that? So something happens, somebody has to do, like, I have to do something, then something goes away. Hey, Krishna is reciprocating. Some flower is falling. So once what happened in Chennai, way back when the temple opened, initially devotees all were very excited that deity has come. So they were doing this, keeping water, keeping boga and everything. So once this boga, they had the boga, the water they kept, and something happened, and they saw that after some time they came and they saw that the water is not there in the cup. So they were so excited, the devotee was serving, felt so excited. Oh, Krishna has drunk my water, Krishna has drunk my water. So he went and told his Holiness Banu Maharaj. You know what it is? Maharaj, Krishna has drunk my water. Maharaj silently looked at him and said, that's what Krishna is supposed to do, right? Then what else? Why else you kept the water for? For it to be just sitting idle. So we want ego satisfaction in everything. So all these days I was keeping water for Krishna to not drink the water. So this is all subtle things, which will come out when we actually study Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and with our sincere chanting. Our own layers and layers of material desires will be shown bare naked, in front of our eyes. I am thinking that I am going to the temple to take darshan. Who knows? I only know whether I want to go to Govindas or to take the darshan. Right? Just if you keep the closing time of Govindas and GT darshan at the same time, we will know where people will go first. Because Govindas is open during the rest time also, people are, okay, I want to go, will take darshan and come to Govindas. If you close Govindas 5 minutes early or on time, same time as thing, people will not go to darshan. First they will do Govinda darshan. So then you think, Prabhu, Vanchakalpataru, yes, somebody is recognizing me. So the soup pattern has so many layers in it. Alone you sit and read, that's when Krishna will talk to us. Because when we are, it's not that we should not sit in a group, don't mistake that point. Our reading, our study should be by ourselves for some time at least. Have some quiet corner where you can be alone with Krishna for some time at least in a day. That's the secret of getting attached to Prabhupada's books. Once we study alone, Krishna will give us the realization. Those realizations you should come and share in the group, and then you should check and balance. Right? Sometimes, who knows, in the name of realization, I may think something else. So we'll have to correct that. Course correction has to be there, isn't it? So when that we sit together and do it as a group, then Prabhu, I read it here, this thing. I thought it is like this, or I'm not able to understand this. Can you please help me throw some light on it? That's how it works. And Prabhupada wanted us to do. That's why he wrote his books, which are very simple language. But at the same time, the important point is that he did it in such a way that we can all relish both alone and as a group. Not all books have this capacity, right? This is one thing. Beyond this, what happens is Sanklesha Nirvanam. It's a beautiful thing about Bhagavatam that Narad Muni advises Vyasadeva. That's his almost last final instruction to Vyasadeva. When Vyasadeva was despondent, no, he's lying, he's just sitting. What have I done? I don't feel like I've done satisfying job. That's when Narad Muni comes and gives all instructions, chastising, encouraging, everything he does. No, the last. Sloka 1540, it's a very beautiful sloka. If you all have your phones, you can take that and read. Tvammapyadabra Shruta Vishrutam Vibho Tvammapyadabra Shruta Vishrutam Vibho Samapyate Yena Vidam Bubhutsitam Prakyagi Dukhe Muhurarditatmanam Sanklesha Nirvanam Shanti Nanyatha Sanklesha Nirvanam Shanti Nanyatha. See, this somebody wants to read the translation and we all repeat. Whoever has the thing with you.
Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activity,
Please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activities
which you have learned by
which you have learned by
your vast knowledge of Vedas.
your vast knowledge of the Vedas.
For that will satisfy the
Satisfy the
hankering of
great learned
man,
hankerings of great learned men,
and at the same time
and at the same time
mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people,
mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people
who are always suffering from the material pangs.
who are always suffering from the material pangs.
Indeed,
Indeed,
there is no other way to
there is no other way to
get out of such miseries.
get out of such. This is a very, very powerful shloka. And my spiritual masters leaving this world, he kept on repeating this particular shloka and making us understand. He said you should learn by heart the shloka translation and the word also. See, there's a beautiful thing. There's so much meaning inside this, buried inside this one shloka. You know, he's telling two things. One is satisfy the hankerings of great learned men. There are people who are seeking after knowledge, the ultimate knowledge. It will satisfy their hankering also. At the same time, mitigate the masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Prabhupada doesn't say here material miseries. He is saying material pangs. You know what is the difference between pangs and miseries? Pangs is the highest adjective, superlative adjective for miseries. Misery is any misery three top we say, but pangs is normally used when when the mothers when they give birth to child, at that time the labor pain that they have, that is when it is termed as pang. At that time it's like either one of the life or both of the lives to die. But Krishna's mercy, he keeps them alive. It means how much pain it will be, even more painful than death in that sense. Right? That's called pangs. So when people it can mitigate the sufferings of the masses of common people who are suffering from material pangs. So Bhagavatam is so powerful that even beyond miseries, whatever is there, the pangs that we call it, that also can be mitigated. And Sanklesha Nirvanam Ushanti Na Anyata. I am not able to see any other solution to all these problems other than this, other than Bhagavatam, or other than glorification of Krishna. Bhagavatam means glorification of Krishna. Don't just confine it into a book. Bhagavad Gita is also glorification of Krishna only, right? But Bhagavatam is even more sweeter because it is all the stories and all the various examples, everything is buried inside along with the philosophical discussion, more in detail, isn't it? So, Ushanti na anyata, I am not able to see anything other than this. So when we are convinced, that's a very important word. This one is commitment, another thing is conviction. We are committed to studying Prabhupada's books, we are committed to chanting, we are committed to this devotional service. That's why we are here, right? But that commitment has to be combined with conviction. Without conviction, if you are doing, the commitment will lose its intensity, isn't it? That conviction has to be there. How will that conviction come? Conviction means, irrespective of whatever somebody says, I am convinced that this will take me to Krishna. This will take me out of the this material bondage. When we are convinced of this, this is what Narad Muni was convinced about. That's why he is saying Ushanti na anyata. There is nothing else other than this. There is no other solution. So Supatan is very important. We have to study. Then the third thing is, it's not simple to Supatan. When you are doing Supatan, you will sing nicely. You will write down the notes. Then you will again and again you go back and read it. You will talk about it to others. But next step is very important, that is Vicharana Paro. In this Vicharana Paro, what happens is, you will look at others and you will see that, hey, for this person is suffering. First of all, we have to identify that some person is suffering. Second thing is, we have to become compassionate to their suffering. That is the most difficult job. Right? When I see somebody suffering with, say he is having a BMW and then he has a 4-bedroom bungalow or some villa or whatever, the beach side, he is suffering. This kind of a suffering when he is experiencing, am I having compassion on that person or something else? My compassion is exhibited in the form of envy, isn't it? I don't know whether I have that compassion or not. How can we be compassionate to a person who is better than me in material opulence? If he is having spiritual opulence, that's not a big deal. I mean, he may be a great devotee, but I have 2 rasgullas. He has only 1 rasgulla, so he is displayed. So I am greater than him. My thing is that at this level, where will I see compassion on this person? He is not getting attracted to Krishna. He has no idea about suffering. So how will you preach to him without having that compassion? Isn't it? So that compassion, to bring it in, that has to come. Then only we can do proper Vicharana Paro. Otherwise, my Vicharana Paro will be like, how can I tell him so that he can donate his BMW to me? I will convince him about the futility of this world's existence so that he can give his bungalow to me for my stay and my I will say preaching, he can use that way in Krishna's service. And that same bungalow goes to some other devotee for his preaching, then I become jealous of that devotee also. So these things creep in all ways and means and this thing. So this Vicharana Paro can be properly done only when we truly understand the importance of devotional service and how much a person is suffering. Prabhupada was able to do that. That is why even when that George Harrison came, he asked Prabhupada, why don't you initiate me? Can I get initiated by? Prabhupada said, no, you are already Hari's son. Right? So he could have, if he had just initiated George Harrison, the whole world was his. He could have got it wherever he wanted without any endeavors. He could have got places. Ambarish Ford, he was also his disciple. He is also his disciple. He could have asked, come on, you do this, can you do that? No, he didn't ask anything. That is Vairagya. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam. He didn't want anything from anybody. So that is the important thing. When my Guru Maharaj was also, some few disciples who had some Lakshmi, when we asked, Maharaj, why don't we ask, say a few of these devotees, why you are struggling so hard to get 10 rupees, 100 rupees, and all from whoever is giving, using this Rajkot Dwarka temples. He said, as devotees, we have to be compassionate to others. We have to really feel their pain. Compassion means we have to feel their pain. So when he used to go to big billionaires' homes, he'll just go in a small group, 3-4 of us will go. When we go, with him to the person's home, their house will be completely like so posh. Every single the vessel that they have will be in silver. Even the vessel to spit also will be in silver. So, like when we went there, we were like, my God, what kind of a house? Yes. Then Maharaj sits with them for hours together, and he was solving their family problems. He was talking to each one of them and advising them, etc. And Maharaj was wiped out by the end of that 7 hours of conversation. It was in Dubai. So when we came out from that house, morning we went and evening only we could come. And when we came out, we asked Maharaj, why you have to spend so much time with this person? He's not even coming to the temple. He's not giving any Lakshmi to the temple. He's not even, maybe he's a devotee by family, tradition, whatever, but we don't see him chanting and all that. Then Maharaj said something very interesting, which really, brought light into our lives, into our thought process. He said, see, you should actually have compassion to everybody, not simply those who are like, poor people suffering. That is also there, you should have. But even the rich people are also suffering. The problem is, they don't have anybody to tell their problems to. Because anybody who comes to them, they only want to tell their problems to this person and get something from them. They think that this person is jolly, joyful, everything is nice, going nicely. So it's easy for him to give some Lakshmi and I will be happy. That is how people are coming. But nobody tries to help them. Even when they go to some places, they are, Prabhu, can you just do this thing for me? Like this, we are having this initiative. Can you offer some donation? Yes, we can do that. But the thing is, how much are we connecting to that person and his problems? That is what he said. When they come to the temples also, we don't see them as also suffering and try to help them to solve their problem. So they won't come. They won't come to us. We have to go to them, and only then they will be able to appreciate that, okay, somebody is there to help me. Everybody, greatest person in the world is also suffering. Why otherwise they will have to go through depression, suicide attempts and this and that. We think that, hey, this person is like celebrity, he has become a big celebrity. Maximum suicides are happening in celebrities' lives only, isn't it? Why they should do that? Means they are not having any true friends. Or they are not able to understand that Krishna is the true friend. We have to help them identify that, isn't it? And that's what Prabhupada did. Otherwise, he could have got so much from this other persons, right? So that compassion is what is very important to do the Vicharana Parva. When we are Vicharana Parva, we are thinking about how this sloka, message of the sloka can be applied or can be given to someone in such a way that they can apply. For that, a lot of churning is required. A lot of churning is required in Bhagavatam when we are studying Bhagavatam. Even every line we have to understand. I will show you one simple example. How even word-to-word equivalents are so important. Please, if you have Bhagavatam with you, I am just giving these things like tips and tips to understand these three steps. 1:15:32. In this, can somebody read the word for word equivalents alone with Sanskrit and English? No need to repeat, just somebody can read.
Nishamya, deliberating, Bhagavat, regarding the Lord, Margam, the ways of his appearance and disappearance, Samsthan, in Yadukulasya of the dynasty of King Yadu, Cha also, Swaha, the abode of the Lord, Pataya, on the way of Matin, desire, Chakre, gave attention, Nibbata Atma, lonely and alone, Yudhishthira, King Yudhishthira.
When you read this is actually, I'll just tell you in a small one line, two line, what happened. Arjuna comes back from Dwarka very disturbed. Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking what's the problem. He says Krishna has left and all these things happen, calamity. Then they all decide to go. So Yudhishthira Maharaj decided to go. If you read the translation, upon hearing of Lord Krishna's returning to his abode and upon understanding the end of the Yadu dynasty's earthly manifestation, Maharaj Yudhishthira decided to go back home, back to Godhead. This is a simple statement. Without reading the word for word, if you read this, it looks simple, isn't it? Now, when you read this thing, all of you are hearing, when Narishadra Prabhu read, you all were hearing. Did something appear out of place? A little bit abnormal? Did any of the statement, English statement only, anything looked a little bit abnormal? This is how Vicharana Parva works. Yes, Prabhu, you had something? No.
Nibrutta, lonely and alone.
Why, Prabhu?
He's feeling the separation from Krishna because Krishna is radiant to his abode.
That's correct, but you told a nice word. What is special about that? You already told some meaning behind that. But that statement itself has something not very common, no? It's a bit uncommon. Why Prabhupada is using lonely and alone? He could have put only lonely, and he could put only alone. Right? So why two words?
Lonely means
So what is the difference between the two? We say, Prabhu, I am feeling lonely. Oh, I am alone at home.
Yes, lonely from inside feeling and alone like.
Alone means? Alone is also alone.
But like.
It's a feeling, I am being alone.
Lonely from inside and alone like from outside.
Alone from outside. You're almost interesting perception you've given. But you just see why Prabhupada should use two words. Try Prabhupada. Good attempt. It's nothing. This is, it's not, they are not making fun of you, but it's a nice attempt only. Don't worry about that. So this, why these two different words for the same thing? Yes, Prabhu. Alone means? State. Yes. Yeah. But okay, that is understood. Lonely is a feeling. Alone is a state of existence, or being alone, kind of. Yes.
maybe Prabhupada was emphasizing that one more.
Emphasizing that point more means actually these two are same or different. I will ask this question. Is lonely and alone, these two words, are they same or different?
Different.
Why?
Because
Very good, Prabhu. Nice. I like these things. Come on.
actually lonely means even if you are surrounded by many people, you can be lonely if you are not associated with them.
Okay.
This way you can be.
But what about alone?
Alone means you are alone, nobody is there with you.
Hmm?
Nobody is there with you, so that is alone.
So are we saying leave me lonely or leave me alone? When we say somebody, leave me alone. Do we ever say leave me lonely? You don't say, no? Nobody wants to be lonely, isn't it? So, yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, even if we are alone, that is physically no one is present around us,
Hmm.
we may not be lonely because we may be associating with Krishna
Hmm.
in our heart. Even when we are not alone, like we are with everyone else, then also we can be lonely because we feel that there is no one to understand us.
Correct. But you can also be alone when even with 100 people around you, right?
Right.
Not related.
Right. So that way, alone is from a physical point of view, and lonely is what we feel, like what we feel from the heart.
So much going on with these two words. Isn't it? See how much Prabhupada must have thought over to put this. Right? So much is there. Still, we haven't come to the end of it. Yeah, it's really, isn't it? Now, are you able to appreciate Prabhupada's word for word? Why he is putting two words there? Nibrutta Atma. Nibrutta Atma is a Sanskrit word. Even if we hang upside down, we will not understand what Nibrutta means. Even maybe if you are Sanskrit scholars, we may be able to understand the technical word behind that. But what Prabhupada has given is realized translation. Nibrutta Atma can be technically Sanskrit, who knows from a grammatical point of view, they can give some meaning. That's all right. But why Prabhupada is using the word lonely and alone? Loneliness is a feeling. You are told whatever you are, everything is correct from perspective. But why Prabhupada is putting that, we have to come to that. This is where the conclusion is. Right now we are getting the puzzle, the jigsaw puzzles together, but the complete shape is yet to be formed. Right? At least to some extent. Loneliness is a feeling. Alone is being alone. It's a state of existence. That part is understood. Why Prabhupada should do both these words here for Yudhishthira Maharaj? Yudhishthira Maharaj, you have to understand now Yudhishthira Maharaj's mood. That's why Vicharana Parva is very important. First of all, we have to see what is Yudhishthira Maharaj's mood. He feels that, now Krishna is not there. All this life, Krishna was there. Even though we were going through terrible sufferings, still we are feeling somewhat safe that Krishna is there, so no problem for us. Kunti Maharani also says the same thing, isn't it? But now Krishna has left this planet, left our vision. Like, then we should actually, that is a feeling, right? And then he decides a state of existence. So how this works is that he was feeling lonely without Krishna. That's why first thing is a feeling of loneliness without Krishna. That is what Yugaitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravrishaitam Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename. Right? That is Chaitanya Prabhu exhibits that feeling, emotion in that one shloka itself. Right? So we should all feel lonely without Krishna, lonely by not being with Krishna. Krishna's absence should make us feel lonely. Our spiritual master's absence should make us feel lonely. That is what the whole chapter is all about. Absence means not permanent absence. Even we are separating from them, we are coming out from the service, we should feel actually lonely. We go to temple, take darshan, we should come back, we should say, no, I am missing you. What does that mean? When I say I miss you, it's actually I am feeling lonely without you. So when you feel lonely without Krishna, you will be alone with Krishna. That's the whole message. The whole message of Krishna consciousness is capsule, put in a capsule in these two words, lonely and alone. Nibrutatma. So our whole idea that why is that Viraha Bhav or Vipralambha Bhav, that is pretty much loneliness without Krishna. So when Krishna left the planet, left his vision, Yudhishthira Maharaj felt lonely without Krishna. The more that loneliness was intensifying, he was actually spending more time with Krishna, alone with Krishna. So the more time we spend alone with Krishna, Krishna will spend time alone with us. Isn't it? In Raslila, the same thing happened with the gopis. Everybody was made to feel that Krishna was exclusively spending time with them. So our ultimate aim at the end of the day is to be always with Krishna. That alone with Krishna does not mean I don't want Krishna with anyone else, not like that. Alone with Krishna means 24 hours Krishna should be with us, that's what it means. Do you understand? So 24 hours if Krishna has to be with us, we should have that feeling of loneliness without Krishna, without being in association with Krishna. So what did we start off with? Bhagavatam is Krishna. So when Bhagavatam we are not reading or we are not spending enough time with Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we should feel something is missing in our life. If you are not missing, today I didn't read Prabhupada's books, it's okay. Today I didn't do this seva, studying Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, or today I could not speak something about Bhagavatam to others. Whatever I read, I am not able to speak. This is not the thing. If I say it's okay, then it means I am not missing Krishna. Understand? We have to learn to miss Krishna in the form of his service, in the form of the sadhana. We miss devotees, isn't it? Do we miss devotees who are always criticizing us? We miss devotees who are glorifying us, isn't it? Right? So what does that mean? I am not missing that devotee. I am missing that devotee's glorification of me. Correct? So this is second layer. So I said, if somebody is telling, Prabhu, I am coming. Oh my God, this one is it's a pain in the neck. We should not want to think if he comes, we should send him out soon. The sooner he leaves, the better it is. If you think like that, it means maybe he is getting inconvenience for me that I am feeling like that. But actually, nothing is inconvenience if we see it in, see Krishna's hand in it, isn't it? Now, this one word, how much discussion is required to understand? And so much Prabhupada has put in just one word, and he left. He didn't bother to explain that whole thing. He just said, in the future, if you want to be connected with me, you please understand and then appreciate it. Relish this. You have this, with these two words, we can relish the entire bhakti process. No other process gives you this whole thing of lonely and alone. To decipher this, we need to do vicharana paro. Then we should appreciate it. We should imbibe it ourselves. Only then, and then we will be able to produce practical thing to others. We are feeling lonely without, say, some specific item which we like in our prasadam. Right? But suppose we feel that way, then we are kept separately, one bowl full of ice cream or rasgulla or some nice rasmalai or something. Then we feel very happy being alone with rasgulla. Right? But same thing, you sit in front of Prabhupada, sit in front of, somebody says, Prabhu, today you sit in front of Prabhupada and chant 32 rounds. You will not feel, oh, thank God Krishna gave me Prabhupada. No, we don't do. Because we don't see Krishna in that. So the whole idea is to see Krishna everywhere. Bhagavatam's complete ultimate message is that learn to see Krishna everywhere, in everybody. Hari Sarvatra Sarvada. That's the whole idea of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, all our scriptures. And I just showed this one word for word. First of all, this should highlight. By your constant reading, and regular reading, you will see that this, what do you call this, this something which is abnormal or uncommon is coming out from every verse. You will feel something uncommon or something very, very special, basically unique. I would say it's a unique thing, and then it will let you think over. You have to think over it. Like today, we all discussed together and we got an idea of what is this Nibrutta Atma means, right? If without this word for word you read the translation, it will look like a normal verse. Yes, some information is being given. But see, Prabhupada didn't give a big this thing about, bhashan about what all he did in this thing. He just wrote and silently went away. He knew somebody, if Krishna wants, he will send somebody to decipher these things and think over. He wants actually Prabhupada wanted all of us to become crazy people. Just know, what do you call that? They call sometimes the nut becomes loose. That's how people will see. But otherwise, why you should leave your regular this thing? Shave your head and kantimala, tilak, dhoti kurta, all these things. Why we have to do all these things? We are doing all these things because we are actually relishing this process. We want to please Krishna more. We want to serve Krishna with more commitment and conviction. We are convinced about it. That's why we have taken this thing, at least externally, isn't it? So internally also, when we are convinced, we will not leave this thing at all. We will not leave this great treasure in front of us. How much time it takes to study? You cannot skim through. That's why it is very important to understand these three steps: Shunvan, Supatan, Vicharanapam. When we do these three things, Bhaktya Vimuchya Naraka. Krishna delivers the Bhakta from this material world and takes him directly to Goloka. That's the message of this shloka. Like this, 18,000 shlokas are there. One shloka, you just skimmed the surface today. Yes, Prabhu.
So this one question I am getting in this particular one. So when we do vicharan, so devotees who are who have good amount of knowledge about the scriptures and the ways of how they understand how the bhakti and the whole process is there. So then their vicharan will be there in lines of how the acharyas have delineated. It will be in the parampara. So, but like if the vicharan, if we do without the background, so then we may come out with other conclusions. You were mentioning realization. Sometimes it may not be in line with the this one. So when inexperienced devotees are there, so how should they do their vicharan? So they should they don't have sufficient this one backing of. They have not spent sufficient time in the studies, so no, they may come up with some different kinds of vicharan actually.
Yes.
So
Very good question, Prabhu. Very practical question. That's why first thing we should do is that even if there is an inexperienced group of devotees, there should be at least one experienced person to guide them. One experienced person should be there to, I think power went off. So at least one experienced person should be there to guide them. The second thing we need to do is that we should actually do the chanting properly. We should do sincerely we should do the chanting. Without chanting, this knowledge and all will not come. This will not be revealed. And the third thing is that we should somehow or other develop that complete conviction in Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara. These things somehow or other, when we get this thing now, when we get these things together, and consistent reading, consistent study, and the motive behind our reading. Many of the time, what happens is our motive behind our reading is maybe it's not completely wrong. I want to get more knowledge of Krishna. I want to get to know more about Krishna. But that is, by itself, it's not pure devotional service. Prabhupada himself says in the purport. I will read out an atom bomb statement for you. Now we saw one word for word. You will read one purport, one statement in the purport also. It is 3:27:27. You take 3:20. Sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's telling nice book, whole of Bhagavatam in one book.
Yeah, up to 9 cantos and of Krishna. Yes. So 3:27:27. I am reading this. You can follow the lines. It's very interesting. See, Prabhupada is giving the difference between mixed devotees and pure devotees. If any of us are thinking that we are pure devotees, or at least we are in the path of thing, then Krishna Prabhupada will do course correction here. A mixed devotee engages in, I am reading from the second statement, a mixed devotee engages in devotional service for the spiritual benefit of being eternally engaged in the transcendental abode of the Lord in full bliss and knowledge. Prabhupada, there's a typo here. Is there a typo here? It should be pure devotee, right? Isn't it? I'll read it again. A mixed devotee engages in devotional service for the spiritual benefit of being engaged, eternally engaged in the transcendental abode of the Lord in full bliss and knowledge. What's wrong in this? Why it is mixed devotion? Why can't it be pure devotion? Misprint. Let's read further and see whether it is typo or not. In material existence, when a devotee is not completely purified, he expects material benefits from the Lord in the form of relief from material miseries, or he wants material gain, advancement in knowledge of the relationship between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity, or knowledge as to the real nature of the Supreme Lord. These are all material things, Prabhupada is saying. Okay, when the person is transcendental to these conditions, he is called a pure devotee. He does not engage himself in the service of the Lord for any material benefit or for understanding of the Supreme Lord. His only interest is that he loves the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he spontaneously engages in satisfying him. Now, we are mixed devotees or pure devotees? I mean, in the path. Is this a typo now? No, you correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, Prabhu.
Without understanding God, how can we love?
Sorry?
Here, it is said like.
Yeah, correct. I got your point. Without even trying to understand Lord is mixed devotion. That's what he says, isn't it? So without understanding Lord, how we can love Him? So you try to understand the Lord. While understanding the Lord, understand that understanding the Lord is also not pure. When you come to that understanding, then we can love Him purely. That's what happened to Uddhava. That's what happened to Akrura. Right? They all were fully in service of the Lord. They are devotees actually. But when they went to see the gopis, they felt that, what are the nonsense we are doing, trying to understand the opulence of the Lord and all that. These gopis don't even care for His opulence and they are loving Him purely. This is the ultimate destination. But we have to go through, like if you are going up, no Prabhu, in the sky, in the flight, it has to go through the clouds. And then after crossing the clouds and goes 35,000, 40,000 feet high, then there won't be clouds there, isn't it? So, but you have to go through. And this understanding will help us. It's not that it will not help you. In the beginning days, it will be, what we are thinking as pure devotion is actually from Krishna's point of view and Krishna's pure devotee's point of view, it is mixed devotion. Right? But what is that? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, after you cross through the dense forest of illusion, you will come to the right conclusion or right understanding, he says. No? So, that's what the understanding, endeavor has to be there. But in that endeavor, you will realize how big is Krishna, how small I am. Without even endeavoring, you will not realize that how great is Krishna. Isn't it? That is why that knowledge is required. Knowledge is required to bring humility in us. And with that humility, we can love Him naturally. Right? So, what is that thing? The more you start trying to, like even material knowledge, just Newton or somebody told that, that after doing so much invention, I feel like I am like a small child collecting the pebbles in the shore of the big ocean. If we say, it's easy for us to say, but so much invention he did and so much name and fame he got, for him to come to that level of humility, right? So that is what, the more and more we become humble, the more and more Krishna will appreciate our seva and bhav. Does that help from you? Nice question, bro.
So, just a continuation of this. So, like this, is it good to say that the path of pure devotion is via mixed devotion?
Yes. You start off from overnight, you don't become a pure devotee right from day one, unless and until you are a Nitya Siddha. Right? We are also Nitya, but not Siddha, but Bandha. You are right. I mean, we have to go through this. But Bhagavatam clears the path for us. You see, it clears the path and makes it. That's the light of Bhagavatam. It clears the path and makes it smooth for us. Otherwise, you don't know where is the stone and where is the path and where is the thorn and all that. Because the improvement of behavior happens by constant study of scriptures. Like pure bhakti is attained in step by step, gradually. It is in Brahma Samhita. How many of you stop with that Katipaya verse? That in Brahma Samhita, if you do that, no? Yeah, what is that last two verses? Santas Sadeva. No, not that one. So finally, the two verses we finish off. Katipaya we finish. No? I don't know I forgot the beginning. Sriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpa Taravo Druma Brumis Chintamani Kanamayi Toyam Amrutam Kataganam Natyam Gamanam Api from sea places. Then we finally that the other one we say Katipaya attends no. After that only Atovacha Mahavishnu Bhagavantam. There is a 5 slokas that Vishnu speaks, Lord Vishnu speaks, or Krishna speaks to Brahma after all his prayers. So in that one beautiful sloka is there. For your question, this is a nice answer. Please repeat this. Pramanaihi Tat Sadacharaihi Tat Abhyasaihi Nirantaram Bodhayam Atmanah Atmanam Bhaktimapi Uttamam Labhed. How to attain Uttama Bhakti, that is pure Bhakti, is said in step by step process in this sloka. Pramanaihi, these are the pramanas we have. This Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the Shastras we have. We have to study Pramanas seriously. That's Sadachari. Seriously, what do we do? Just to study some story and get some story, this thing about it? No. Sadachari. We have to take out the Sad Acharas. If you see between Indra and Prathu, some fight is going on, you take the Sadachar from each one of those characters. Or if you take Prahlad Maharaj stories, take the Sadachar. Sadachar means good behavior, good character. So you take the Sadacharahi. Simply just take and preach and speak and that is not enough. First of all, we should do Abhyas. We should do Abhyas. Whatever that good character, non-enviousness, humility, pridelessness, honesty, any character that, any characterial behavior that we take it out and start practicing it. Like today I will practice this. Continuous hammering will one day will make us practice it. Then it's not like once in a lifetime practice. Nirantaram. Continuously. Always we should practice. That abhyasahi nirantaram. Even if you do nirantaram abhyas, then also mind will freak out. It will say, enough, give us a vacation. Come on, it's enough of me to be humble and all these things. It's all right. So, no, tad abhyasahi nirantaram. So it will freak out. So you have to do bodhayam atmanaha atmanam. You have to do preaching to the mind, not to others. Before to others, we have to do preach to our own mind. So bodhayam atmanaha, by our atma, preach to the mind. Bhakti mapi uttamam labhe. By continuously preaching to the mind, one day it will subside and it will start following. So first you start off with practice, then make it nirantaram, make the mind become its second nature. It should be second. You should not even think that, oh, now I should be humble. You should just be humble. Think means mind is telling, can you give me an option, being humble and not being humble? I would like to choose not being humble. It will say. But you should not even give that option to mind. Be humble, that's all. No question asked. To that extent, mind should be trained. You should even forget that what is arrogance or what is pride. So this can happen starting from Pramanahi. From Pramana, that Sadachar, Abhyas. Take the Sadachar out, do the Abhyas, regularly do it, continuously do it, and then preach to the mind to not freak out and make it a second nature. Then Uttamam Bhakti Mapi Uttamam Lavit. That's how it starts. So when you are reading Bhagavatam, from this we understand, hey, now today, if you go home, this person should not be allowed again in Bhakti Center. He is making us all, he is discouraging us all like anything. What I was thinking as nice, pure devotion that I was doing, you got me I'm feeling so depressed now. His job is to make us depressed. I don't want it. No, actually, we are getting an opportunity here to improve our. Constantly look for opportunity to intensify and improve our devotion. That is what Bhagavatam helps us. Doesn't matter. 10 years later, I think that all these days I was chanting, but I was not getting love of Krishna at all. Did I waste 10 years? No. That 10 years of chanting has helped you to understand that you are not having love. It's not like, you eat 10 dosas and 11th dosa, your hunger is gone. Then you think that, I should have eaten that 11th dosa at the beginning itself. The 10 dosas gradually, gradually, by step, it is reducing the hunger. So finally, the 11th dosa completely finishes, right? So we should not feel depressed or despondent. That's what my point is. Do not feel depressed or despondent. Krishna is telling to Brahma that Ma Veda Garbha Gastandrim Sarga Udyama Mavaha Yanmaya Tanmaya Paditam Hyagre Yanma Prartayate Bhavan. It is 3:29:29. It's a beautiful verse. 3:9:29. I'm sorry, 3:9:29. So that shloka, he says, Ma Veda Garbha Gastandrim means do not be depressed of this because he's just come, no creation, nothing, he's sitting alone. Obviously, if none of you are here and I am sitting here and I am sitting and giving class in front of this recorder or whatever, then I will feel depressed. Isn't it? If you are alone and nobody is there, somebody is giving class in TV, you will feel depressed. Correct? So that loneliness always makes us feel depressed. That's why that lonely without Krishna. Actually that loneliness is Originally, that loneliness is we are feeling depressed because of not being with Krishna. But we are mistakenly thinking, oh, my wife is not there, my husband is not there, my children are not there, my this is not there, devotees are not. We think like that. But actually, that real loneliness is because that feeling of depression is because Krishna is not with us. We are feeling without Krishna. We don't realize that, right? That is the ultimate thing. So this is very important. If you see, read that 3:9:29. If you see that thing now, Krishna is telling, Ma Veda Garbha Gas Tantrim, do not be depressed for the situation. I have given you a responsibility, you are not able to do it, but don't be depressed. Ma Veda Garbha Gas Tantrim, Sarga Udyamam Avaha. 3:9:29. So if you read that, if you read the translation, it's a nice, beautiful thing. 3:9:29. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. Krishna is telling, Tanmaya apaditam hi agre. Already I have given you. What you are begging from me, you are asking me for mercy. Just then Brahma has finished his prayers. You are asking for mercy. I have already given it to you. It will fructify at the right time. Just be patient. Wait for the right moment to do this. Right? So with that, so these three things is very important. Tatshanman, Supatan, Vicharanaparam. These three. So I will just quickly go through this. Actually, this slide itself should have taken 2 hours minimum to explain. But because we are running out of time now, I am just quickly trying to give a appetizer kind of a thing. Later we can have more questions. We can always discuss further. So first thing is that we should understand and be convinced. This is what I was telling. Conviction and commitment. These two are very important. Please we remember. Conviction. Please carry on, Prabhu. Please carry on. So this first thing is we should understand and be convinced why we are studying Bhagavatam. It's for Krishna's glorification and our purification. The entire devotional service we are doing for only these two things. Krishna's glorification and our purification. When you say preaching, normally we tend to have this hidden thought or underlying thought that that person doesn't have the knowledge. I have the knowledge, so I should give him. It's a bit of inferior superior thing is there. But if you see, I am only sharing my knowledge, or I am sharing the glorification of Krishna. It's a question. Preaching is nothing but a glorification of Krishna. You see? So when we glorify Krishna, when you go to anyone with the idea of glorifying Krishna, you go and distribute books with the idea of glorifying Krishna, then the whole, the perception itself changes, isn't it? It's a big paradigm shift. Oh, today I should go and glorify Krishna. Instead of saying, today I should distribute 100 books. Then if you distribute 99 books also, you come back depressed. Isn't it? Sometimes it happens like that. Because you have set some target at this. Go with this idea, I want to glorify Krishna. In that process, I will give my best. And whatever comes out, this 10:31:9 explains it very nicely. What is 10:31:9? That shloka Gopika Geetam, no? Tava katamrutam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvi Drunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Why we should preach? Why should study Bhagavatam? Tava Katamratam Tapta Jivanam. I am suffering. Everybody is suffering. So your Katamratam actually subsides that fire, that burning thing, and makes it cool. Tapta Jivanam. Kavibi Riditam. It is all given by the great devotees, pure devotees, advanced devotees. Kavipiriditam, Kalmashapaham. Kalmashapaham means all the dirt is all gone. We are not suffering because of the dirt, Kali Kalmashanashanam, no? All the Kalmash is there. We are all suffering because of that Kalmash. So that Kalmash is all gone. So our sufferings are Kavipiriditam, Kalmashapaham. Shravana Mangalam, while hearing it is the most auspicious thing, Mangal. And Srimadattatam, it brings in all the opulence in our life. All the spiritual opulence are there. There is a big difference between richness and opulence. In Hindi, these rich people are called Paisadar, no? We say Paisadar. You know why they are called Paisadar? Paisa will be inside. He will be standing on the dwar like a guard. He will not enjoy also, he will not let others enjoy also. You know? Like the dog, when we keep that bone in front of it, neither will eat, take it, it will not let others take it also. Like that, you'll be waiting outside and like God, nobody should enjoy this. Paisa dar. His money is of no use to anybody. That Lakshmi, which you cannot enjoy, is not your money. Even if it is sitting in the bank, creating more and more interest or whatever it is creating, even then that's not your money. It is looks like your money, but the banker is enjoying. You are not enjoying. You know? After you die, you will not even give the password to anybody. That person will be there. Go with the bolo hari. Right? Banks are surviving because of these people only. You know, people are having Swiss bank account. They die without even giving the account to anybody. Swiss is good. Why is Swiss number one? Isn't it? So this is paisa dar. But Srimant is one who is opulent. Srimant means one who is getting the opulence by Krishna's mercy. So they will be always opulent, even without the paisa, they will be opulent. So what do you want? Paisa or opulence, Aishwarya? So this is what is called Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhu. At what time, Prabhu?
It is supposed to start at what time?
11 o'clock? 11 o'clock? In 5 minutes can you close? Thank you for reminding me. I was also looking. So slowly devotees were looking here and there. Something is wrong. I thought Advaita Acharya's appearance after fasting. So this we have to understand. Let's go to the next one quickly. Is actually, I'm just giving a quick. Oh, it's not coming there.
If we don't use it for some time, it will go off.
Oh, is it? What should I do? Can remove it. Remove it and put it again? I think it is coming. So the next thing is, studying Bhagavatam is not a material exercise. Because you are being directly connected to the Supreme Lord. It must be approached just like you are going and standing in front of the deities, no? It should be approached with these 5 things: simplicity, sincerity, humility, eagerness and gratitude. With these 5 qualities, if you approach Bhagavatam, right? Why we have to approach with these 5 of the things? Because when suppose you are asked to, Prabhu, can you do the dressing for the deity? How much we feel fortunate about? Or you carry Jagannath to the Rath, right? So when you do that, you feel so fortunate, so blessed. So this is also Krishna. So when you are carrying Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all, actually you should feel very fortunate. That I am the chosen person by Krishna has chosen me. When we have that respect, then automatically Bhagavatam becomes your lifestyle. You will never leave Bhagavatam, right? With these 5 qualities, because we are given the opportunity to touch Krishna in the form of book, in his grantha. So bhakti is not possible without these 5 ingredients. Bhakti is not possible. That is to say, it will be mixed with material fruitive intentions and not pure. It's very important to note this thing. Otherwise, my Bhagavatam reading also, I want to go and give this to other person, I want to become name and fame, all those things will come. Now comes a very important point. If you wish to study Bhagavatam, if you wish your study of Bhagavatam to really bring bliss into your life, you must practice what you study. This is the most important thing. It's not enough to just read and enjoy. Your enjoyment will come when you actually practice that. That's why Bodhayantaha Parasparam. That one, sorry, not Bodhayanta Parasparam. Bodhayan Atmanaha Atmanam, na? Abhyasaihi Nirantaram. Bodhayan Atmana. That is what is actually practicing. But to practice, you must seriously contemplate on what you said. That is Vicharana Paro. Right? This contemplation should go on throughout the day. In the sense, wherever you are getting a break, you should, hey, this sloka I read today. What is that point? What is that Nibrata Atma? This Nibrata Atma should be there in your every break today, throughout the day, you should remember that. At least 10 times if you remember, then that thing will settle in our minds. Right? Then, don't worry if the contemplation on Bhagavatam will disturb your duty. Why? Because when you constantly contemplate, what happens is, it will enhance the quality of your service, because you will know that even your work or study or anything that you do, cooking prasadam or anything that you do is only to please Krishna, for the glorification of Krishna, for his satisfaction. That's the ultimate aim of understanding and studying and all these things. Preaching you are doing for pleasing Krishna, studying you are doing for pleasing Krishna, helping others you are doing for pleasing Krishna, everything is for pleasing Krishna. So once you do that, when we approach Bhagavatam in that manner, then we ourselves will experience personal peace, satisfaction and self-improvement of our character. These three things will happen. Our character will improve. 5 years ago somebody would say, what you are doing like this, doing like this. And after 5 years, hey, you are such a nice devotee. Isn't it? So many hippies were turned into happies by Prabhupada. All these things because of that. Final point, then we will become humble and unflinching instruments in the hands of Krishna. That's the whole aim. Ultimately you have to become, what is that? What is that? Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachani. That's what we should become. To present Krishna in such a way that it inspires and touches the hearts of the listeners, and they too are inspired to take sincere action to change their lives gradually. These are the 5 different steps. I will just stop here. I'm sorry we didn't get too much. Oh, you want to see, take this? Let me put it in slideshow. You can share this. It's maybe PDF or something. I'll just share this. So this is just one of the some 60-70 odd slides that I have. I mean, it has a complete thing of step-by-step thing about Prabhupada's glorious, how he highlighted the importance of Bhagavatam, the 10 different types of study methods. There are simple ways to study, then the more deeper ways, and many different things are there. And then how to sing the shlokas, so many things are there. But we could do this one in today's thing, as you asked for the how to study Bhagavatam. There's a little bit of thing. Many more things are there, but we can discuss that at a later. Sorry that it took some more time.
Maybe 1 or 2 questions.
Yes. Any questions? I think now everybody's thing is settled. No more questions. There is one shloka which you should remember for serious study of Bhagavatam. 284. I'll bring that here. It's there now. So this shloka you should by heart and understand. Shinvatah Shraddhaya Nityam Grinatascha Swacheshtitam Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. See again, this word for word is very nice, no? Shinvatah is of those who hear. But what is Shraddha normally means? Faith. Let's see what Prabhupada has given. Earnestness. Earnestness means you just feel like a fish out of the water. That is what is earnestness. When can I get back to this? Without the study of Prabhupada's books, you have to feel like fish out of water. Right? And then, see, Nityam is a very interesting word. Nityam means Diwali also comes Nityam. Once in a year. Regularly it comes. Right? But if we say regularly, I will also read Bhagavatam once a year. That is also regularly. I will attend Janmashtami day, I will go for Mangalarti. That is the whole. No. Regularly, and Prabhupada says always. So that we will. Prabhupada says only regularly. So I will do regularly. Once in a month I read, that is regularly. No. Then you see, the most important word is Swacheshtitam. Seriously by one's own endeavor. Don't say that hey, this Prabhu is not there, I will not read Bhagavatam. Only if that Prabhu is there, he gives some nice jokes, he cracks some nice jokes, he makes it very enlightening. No, Bhagavatam is supposed to enlighten, not entertain. Right? Our life is not about entertainment comes as a byproduct, but enlightenment is what we have to be after. So this, by one's own endeavor, we should not depend on anyone else. Swacheshtitam. Like nobody is there also, I will do it. Then Krishna will send people. When all of you are not there, Harishatra Prabhu was still running around, his team of devotees, he was still doing seva, isn't it, many years ago? Right? So people started coming. Some of them who are here were not here, but still the thing goes on. right? For seva we should do this. Bhagavatam study also, Bhagavad Gita study also, we should try on your own. But Prabhu asked a question, like if you try your own, you can go in your own direction. No, after you try on your own, come and confirm it with some senior Vaishnavas, whether what I thought was correct. Attend some nice discussions and thing on a regular basis. That will help. And then, na ati dirghana, very soon Krishna will appear in our hearts. That's why persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously. So this taking the matter seriously and one's own endeavor are connected. That's why Prabhupada doesn't bring that endeavor word into the translation, so that we concentrate on the word for word also. Right? When you take, if you miss it, otherwise you'll miss it. Each have their own flavor. So don't miss anything in the shloka, verse, translation, purport, everything. The word for word, translation, purport, everything you should cover. It has its own flavor. It's not like they are actually unique in their own way. They are complete in themselves, and they are unique in their own way. Don't think that in Prabhupada it did not give it in translation, so it's not complete. So we should read it. No, it's not. It's not like that. Everything is complete in its own way. Everything is complete in its own way. That's why they have nice different rasa flavor. So we'll have the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna manifest in their hearts within a short time. So the aim of studying Bhagavatam is to bring Krishna into our hearts. We'll discuss further on this. There are two more slokas after this, which tells what will happen after Krishna comes in our heart. We'll discuss that later.
Small question.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, like word to word meaning in translation and purport. So, like in word to word meaning, there's different words are there. In translation, little bit like there. And purport is also there. So, Prabhuji, why word to word meaning in translation is little bit
different? Very good question. It is different because the Sanskrit word, each word has 20 different meanings. Many different meanings. So those who are scholars in Sanskrit, or those who are well versed in Sanskrit, they will appreciate Prabhupada's work if they are honest. Because Prabhupada not only is Sanskrit scholar, he is a pure devotee. Isn't it? So he is finding it very difficult to put everything together in just a small piece. Otherwise, we are Kali Yuga products. We will not read with short this much purport itself. We are not touching it. If he has to write one full book for this one shloka only. Who will read 18,000 books? 80 books. 80,000 books are there to read, right? So, and the interesting thing, Prabhupada said this, that when Prabhupada finished most of the books, and like in 1975, 76, when one of the devotees, is one of the senior sannyasis, he asked Prabhupada, you have written Bhagavatam, you have written Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita and everything, now which book you want to write from Prabhupada? So Prabhupada said, I will write Bhagavad Gita again. Bhagavad Gita you wrote already. Why don't you say Ramayana Mahabharata? I can write 75 different translations, books on Prabhupada. Bhagavad Gita. He said, one Bhagavad Gita itself I can see is. So I can write a complete book on one commentary only, Ramanujacharya's commentary only. I can write another version of only Jiva Goswami's commentary. I can one on Vishwa Chakravarti Thakur's commentary only. I can write so many books. So, which means it's expanding. I told you, it's life. So, don't think that why he is giving different. It's different. He is finding it very hard to accommodate everything for us to digest. So that's why he put that alone and lonely there, lonely and alone there, but it doesn't come in the translation. Understand? So we have to. That's why deep reading means you have to get into the word to word. You have to get into the translation. You should get to everything. So it's not incomplete. Everything is Purnam. Right? Purnam in their own way. And expanding also. The same shloka, that's why tomorrow you come and ask the same shloka, the Srimata Sadhyanathyam, you will have a totally different class. You see, different devotees give different classes. Isn't it? Because Krishna is inside, impregnated. Prabhupada uses the word impregnated, So, thank you for that. Nice question, Prabhu. I am sorry. There may be many more questions, but, we can definitely spend more time when Krishna allows us to. Right? Thank you so much, Harichandra Prabhu, for
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for enlightening us. And the next time I'm just thinking like we should go for a yatra.
Yeah, we should do a captivation. Even others, you don't go anywhere.
So first I would like to invite you, Prabhuji, for we have a brahmachari yatra. Like we would like to have Bhagavatam discussion for 2-3 days like that.
Yeah, where are you going?
We have
You haven't decided yet.
place is not decided, but date is.
When is that? Date is when?
So this is in the like next 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. Okay, I think I might be kind of, I will try to find some time around that.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll tell you the
Give me
date.
the time. Dates.
It's there, then we can have nice discussion on some small section of Bhagavatam.
Yeah, we do that. We do Bhagavatam retreats. We do for 2-3 days together. Of course, Prasadam will be there. So we'll do in 2-3 sessions like that. It's little breaks and all, and just take one particular episode only and keep going on in discussing that. So we do that. Krishna willing, we'll do that.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
That's only brahmacharis, huh? Maja Madi. Nice. We can do that. Sure.
Let's thank Prabhuji for his like giving his time for us and enlightening us by chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So there is a nice book, which is composed of the quotations from His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. It is called Pearls of Wisdom. So it's Maharaj is like, we are seeing a sample of Maharaj in Kalachakra. Maharaj is like, his life and soul is Srimad Bhagavatam. And now we can, Maharaj would have given like very, very nice instructions. I was not read this book. So with our good fortune, we have this book here. So devotees can take and get benefited of this.